short-term retreat, Dhamma talk number 6. We are practicing mindfulness insight meditation. Let's see, when we practice, what happened? We are observing rising and falling movements of the abdomen. That is, in a proper term, is called body contemplation of the body. By contemplating body on the body, in the body, will bring one the understanding to the ultimate realities of the four great elements of the body, rupa. In scripture said, the body is mainly made up of the four great elements, Mahabhuta. As this body is tangible, especially for the beginner, one will find very easy to practice. So we'll focus on the body. But the reason is observing the mind is more difficult because the mind is very subtle, not like tangible and gross like the body. However, in the mind, some factors such as feelings and emotions are a lot easier to observe than the other mental factors. When one is observing the abdominal movement, which is a part of your body, one will come to know the concept of form, materiality. Okay. You will see the word body, you will see the word form, you will hear the word materiality or matter. They are one and the same. You will come to know the concept of form, materiality, and the concept of manner. What manner means is appearing to the mind as arising and falling movements. Manner is the way it appears to the mind as rising and falling movements. That's a manner. So you will come to know the concept of form and manner are causes. They are the causes. And they are the one that make known or to be known. In other words, they have the quality to make known or to be known. And they are the causes to be known. They are the causes to make known. Rising is the separate movement from the falling movement. That rising and falling is not an endless loop. They are two separate events. These are the little things one have to keep in mind so that you will be on the right track. And knowing of this form and manner, the form of the abdomen and the way it moves, the manner. Okay? Knowing of the form and manner is mind or mental phenomena. Two things, body and mind. Rising and falling represent the body aspect of it. Knowing the rising and falling represent the mental aspect of it. Nama and Rupa. Mind and matter. Consciousness and body. At the beginning, this knowing, sometimes you will hear the word or see the word knowing, or sometimes you will hear noting, sometimes observing. They are all one and the same. Noting, knowing, observing. So, at the beginning, this knowing mind, this noting mind, this observing mind is not very obvious. It's a bit obscure. You can't really sense it. But slowly and slowly it will become more and more distinct and become noticeable. The key thing is keep on observing, observing, observing with precision. And once it becomes distinct and noticeable, okay, that stage, one will understand rising and falling, or you can call it material object, which is a cause to be known, is material phenomenon. This is not a solid body. It is a phenomenon, material phenomenon. When you have the distinct understanding of the mind, observing mind, with clarity, the knowing process to the objects at that moment, you understand this is simply a material phenomenon or physical phenomenon. Now, one has reached the understanding what seemingly believed to be a solid self. We always think this body and mind is a me, I, self, solid self. In fact, are two separate, distinct processes. One is the material process or body, and the knowing is mentality or mental process. And these two processes are connected through the law of causality. All that you need to do is observe, observe, note, note. And when you observe and note, you will come to understand body or the matter is a physical phenomenon. Knowing, noting is a mental phenomenon. Not a self, not an I, just two phenomena, just two processes operating, doing their own job. But they work hand in hand through the connection or through the law of cause and effect. Body will become the cause, and then the mind will become the effect. Sometimes the mind is the cause, body is the effect. Sometimes mind is the cause and mind is the effect. A whole set of combination and permutation. That's how they work, body and mind. Movements, vibrations, stiffness, tension, hardness, softness, fluidity, and temperature. These are very specific characteristics. You will experience these while you are in meditation when you are observing the body. You feel a little bit of vibration, a little bit of movement, stiffness, tension. Sometimes it's hard and soft, sometimes it is sticky. You will directly experience with your mind. And all those things, all these little specific that I just mentioned, are actually the body, are called form, or in Pali is rupa, or material phenomenon. Okay, whenever we say form, material form, phenomenon, rupa, actually these little things are the one that compose all together, a composite of these little things. We call it the body. We call it the physical phenomenon. And the knowing of these specific characteristic, the nature of the body, specific nature of the body, the knowing of these is the mind. Sometimes you'll hear the word mind, sometimes consciousness, mind or consciousness. And that knowing, that mind, that consciousness is simply a mental phenomenon. Just like all those hot and cold and stiff and hard are physical phenomena, this knowing nature or the mind, or we also call consciousness, is simply a phenomenon, mental phenomenon. You will be experiencing specifically these things while you are meditating. And if you understand this way, body in a specific characteristic, mind it is simply as the operating tool to know. If you understand that way, if you understand in detail in that way, It is called you have a clear comprehension of mind and matter. You progressed to a state where you have a very clear comprehension of mind and matter. In Pali word, for those who are familiar, it's called sampajanya. Sampajanya. You have clear comprehension now. And also, same thing, this knowing the true nature of mind and matter. What is the true nature of mind and matter? You know the specific characteristics of the body and the knowing phenomenon. That is the true nature. This true nature of the mind and body, in accordance with their realities. Realities are the specific characteristics. In accordance with the realities, at the moment of the object arising, not before, not after, not trying to remember, not speculating, but at the moment when it is happening, arising, you come to know its true nature. That is another progress that you're having. In Pali, it's called Yatha Buddha Jnana. Knowing the true nature of mind and matter in accordance to realities, in accordance to ultimate realities at the moment when the object is arising. Yatha Buddha Jnana. Okay. The same thing, but it gives you from the different angle. One is sampajanya, clear comprehension. This one is Yatha Buddha Jnana. In short, literally speaking, knowing as it is. And another one, another angle is this kind of awareness of rising and falling. You become aware, you understand in such a way that we had explained of this rising movement and falling movement. If you have that, you have progressed to the point that you have a correct view or correct knowing of path. Correct view, correct knowing, correct understanding is called samadhi. And this samadhi is the right view, is one of the eightfold path. So in Pali it is called samadhi magginga. You have reached that stage. You have progressed to that stage. You see as they really are. You see body as body, mind as mind. You understand these two different systems operate through the law of causality, or using cause and effect as a tool, they work together. So Pali words, sampajanya, clear comprehension. Yatha Buddha Jnana, knowing as it is. Correct view, right view of the path. Samadhi magginga. You begin to understand these concepts through your direct practice. These are the little progress you have or you will be having if you haven't. when you are practicing. Okay. You are labeling rising and falling. Rising and falling. And observed precisely as instructed. Okay. The key thing is, in our method, labeling is encouraged, especially for the beginners. Labeling, rising, falling, precisely as the abdomen is arising, as the abdomen is falling. And if you observe precisely as instructed, you will be experiencing all of these about what I have stated. At the beginning, obscurely, not sure. When you start it, you will have just a sense that it is happening. That means obscurely it is in your awareness. However, if you put urgent effort, urgent energy, and observe energetically, will come to see these things with clarity within 7 days of your retreat. If you are not a slacker, if you put great effort, you follow the instruction in details, you will come to understand this clear comprehension, or as it is, or right view within 7 days. You will experience it and you will understand it. No if or but. It is not high in the sky. It is right under your nose. All you need is a correct method and a great effort. Within 7 days, you understand these 3 concepts. Clear understanding, as it is, right view. Okay, right view have many aspects, and we are just touching one aspect of the right view. Hard, soft, hot, cold, movement, vibration, fluidity, and so on. They are the true nature of the body or matter. And it is the manifestations of the four great elements. The body is made up of 4 great elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. And they manifest into these specific qualities and characters. They are all the time, but we are not aware of it. Now we are having a full and clear awareness and understanding. Specific characteristics are the manifestation of the 4 great elements, which we call the body. And all these things can be known both in your sitting meditation and in walking meditation. Sitting meditation, we observe rising and falling movements of the abdomen. And also in walking meditation, you can understand and experience the same thing. Okay. You all know how to do walking meditation. Take about 20 paces or maximum 40 paces length, straight line, walk back and forth. Observe the lifting movement, pushing movement, and dropping movement with precision and label. That's what we are doing. This, we call it walking meditation. We do alternate 1 hour each. 1 hour sit, 1 hour walk, 1 hour sit, 1 hour walk, so that we have a balance of the body. And this walking meditation comes with 5 benefits, the Buddha said. What are the benefits you gain from this walking meditation? One is able to travel long distances without getting tired or too tired. Because in the olden days, the monks traveled from point A to point B by walking. Nobody come and fetch with a car or a horse, riding a horse or riding a cart. The most will be a bullock cart, you will be sitting on it. But mostly they walk. So they walk and they walk and they walk and they walk from one place to the other. So they need a stamina for walking, and this walking meditation gives that stamina. Second benefit is it makes one more industrious. Okay, let's look at it. In sitting meditation, you're sitting and then observing simply the rising and falling movement of the abdomen. The body does nothing. Even that abdominal rising and falling is automatically, so to speak, happening with your breath. So there's not much physical effort required. All that you do was the mind focus on it, totally focus on it, mental effort. That's sitting meditation. In walking meditation, you need both physical effort as well as mental effort. Physical effort, keeping a straight line, very slow paced, lift, push, drop, lift, push, drop, and then as you progress, intention to lift, lifting, pushing, dropping. So there's a physical effort and also mental effort, and also synchronizing these two activities. So there's a lot of effort required than the sitting meditation. So what happens is automatically one becomes very industrious. You are not lazy, you are not bored. You have so many things to do, so many things to watch, so many things to synchronize with precision. That makes one become industrious person. If you are not, you won't catch all these things. And the third effort, we can call it, it keeps you healthy. It keeps you away from, so to speak, healthy means away from illness and disease. That is no-brainer. We all go, every one of us now, they go for a walk. Okay? It's a part of exercise. Of course, some people go to gym and do this and go to yoga and do that. But without joining anything, doing at your own convenience at any time. Walking is an exercise to keep yourself healthy. That's the third benefit. The fourth one is it promotes good digestion. See? You have a meal. Right after the meal, your tummy is pretty full, and you feel a little bit bloated or loaded and slow. Go for a walk after a meal. Within 10, 20, 30 minutes, your stomachs feel okay, just natural again, because it creates digestion. It digests the food. It's the indirect effect from walking meditation. And 5 is it produces durable concentration. Okay, here is the word called durable. What does it mean by durable concentration? Let's say you're sitting meditation, you're focusing on the movement, rise and fall and rise and fall. And suddenly there's a noise, the minds go there. Suddenly something happened, the mind goes there. Mostly sound. This sound, that sound can attract and distract you, and you come back hearing and come back. Because you are only walking on the rising movement and falling movement. And your effort is not that strong like walking. In walking meditation, you have to do the physical effort, mental effort, you have to do the synchronized, you have to be lifting is one thing, pushing is that thing, dropping is another thing, intention is another thing, and then stopping and the standing posture and turning. So many things. Maybe about a dozen things to take care of it. As there are a dozen things to take care of it, if anything extra come in, you can handle it with ease without being distracted, because you're becoming used to handling many things, one after the other. Your concentration doesn't break down like in sitting by a noise. A noise comes in, you just simply know there's a noise, hearing. It is seamlessly, it flows into your observation patterns. That's mean durable. It cannot be broken easily. Those are the 5 benefits the Buddha gave us for walking meditation. So, in walking meditation or sitting meditation, we are both watching the movement. We are observing the wind elements. Okay. Very specific. We give you exactly what to do, what to observe. We are observing the wind element. So in here, are they all the wind element that we watch? No. In the scripture, it gives us more different kinds of wind element. In fact, 6 kinds of wind element. They give us to observe, because it is the practical, observable classification based on the observable, practical to our meditation. So what are these 6 kind of wind elements? Number one is called upward wind, more like bulging, hiccups. It happens in your body. When it happens, you observe that upward wind, upward movement of the wind. Downward wind, the stinky air goes out from the bottom, farting. That's a downward wind. When it happens, one needs to observe and know. Number three, wind inside your chest or abdomen. When you breathe in, your chest or rib cage or abdomen expand. When the air goes out, it contracts. That is the chest or abdominal wind. Number three, you can observe very easily rising and falling movement, basically. Number four, wind inside the intestinal tracts. Chest and abdomen is outside the intestinal tract. This one is inside the intestinal tract. Okay. The most obvious one that you will notice is now you are in retreat, eating only 2 meals. Early in the morning, you will hear a lot of growling sound inside your body. That is the movement of air inside your intestine. That is called wind inside the intestinal tract. Swallowing, bowel movement, such are the cases. Number 5 is in-breath and out-breath. Sometimes you will become aware there's air going in and air going out. At that moment, you don't block it. Oh no, I'm supposed to watch abdominal movement, I'm on the wrong spot. That kind of thinking is you break down your mindfulness. Once in a while the awareness go to that in-breath, out-breath, just know it. As soon as they finish, go back to your default object for this meditation. But most people who practice Anapana, it's just that, in-breath, out-breath. That's the 5th kind of wind. And the 6th kind of wind, we call it wind, but basically movements, are in the various parts of the body. The most obvious ones are like your lips. Your lips are always moving. Your tongues are moving. Your eyes are moving. Your eyelids are moving. That's why sometimes the teacher will ask you, are you aware that you're blinking? If you're aware of your that you are blinking, your mindfulness is quite strong. Your hands, those are the various body parts where there is a movement or wind element. 6 kinds of wind. They are all practical. They are classified for practical purpose. And also, you are all here in retreat. There are a few things you should be aware of or keep yourself in line. Okay? You have a place where you sleep and you have a place where you meditate. 2 different places. During the meditation time, keep yourself away from your sleeping quarters or beds, because that's very enticing. You will have all sort of excuse to go and lie there. Keep yourself away. And also, the beginning of the day, the first moment you wake up and ready to meditate, start with walking meditation. Take a brisk walk for about 2-3 minutes, brisk walk, and then gradually slow down. That will be helpful. It keeps you away from drowsiness. And also, as you are alternating sitting meditation and walking meditation, there's a transition from sitting to walking and walking to sitting. That transition period, you must not break your concentration. In other words, carry the concentration from the walking meditation into the sitting meditation, and vice versa. Don't take a pause and then suddenly, okay, I'm going to sit down, okay, I'm going to walk. No. Every transitional movement must be observed. Only then you won't break your concentration. This seems to be trivial, but no, it helps in your progress. It speeds up your progress if you follow these little things. And also, a little later you will find your meditations become good, mindfulness become good, concentration become good. And you are supposed to be 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, sitting and walking. Do you sharply get up and sharply sit down at 1 hour? If your concentration is quite stable, quite grounded in sitting meditation, even though there's 1 hour comes up, you don't have to get up. Keep on meditating as long as your concentration is stable. It might go into 1 hour and 15 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes. And then once the stability breaks down, then you change to walking. The same thing with walking meditation. Some people are very good at building concentration with walking meditation. Near the end of the hour, by the end of the hour, if your walking meditation concentration is very stable, keep on walking. Walk for 1.5 hours. Walk for 2 hours. In other words, you don't have to strictly follow the 1 hour rules anymore. But not for the beginners. Beginners simply do 1 hour alternatively. But at least walk for 1 hour. At least walk for or sit for 1 hour. If concentration is stable, you can sit or walk longer than 1 hour. And also keep in mind, some people are quite clinging to sitting meditation, but at the same time become tired. Oh, I'll go do a walking meditation just to stretch my legs. The purpose of walking meditation is not to stretch your legs. The purpose of walking meditation is to build effort, industriousness, to build concentration, and to build insight. You must have a clear thinking about it. It's not stretching your legs. Walking meditation is to build effort, concentration, and insight. This seems to be not great important, but they really help in the speed of your progress if you follow them strictly. So, the function of walking. What's the purpose? What's the function of walking? Okay, we already said in one way, to build effort, concentration, and insight. The function of walking is for most people to get yourself from point A to point B, to get yourself from here to the market, to get yourself from home to the park. That's the purpose of walking for most people. There's a destination, an agenda. That's a function of walking for everybody. But in meditation, it is different. In meditation, it is to know, to know that it's not I who is walking. Normal way is I walk to get somewhere. And here is you do walking meditation to know that it's not I who is walking, but a series of physical and mental processes operating through cause and effect. That's the purpose of walking and meditation. To know that it's not I who is walking, that is not self who is walking, but it is simply a series of physical processes and mental processes. They are operating jointly through the law of cause and effect. That's the purpose of walking meditation. In one short line, to overcome the view of self, the identity, individuality. In walking, you're observing intention. Intention to walk is the cause. And rising of the mind product, the wind element. Okay? You have intention to walk, and as soon as the intention comes, it rises, it produces wind element. That wind element is the product of the mind, product of the intention. Intention is to walk as the cause. Arising of the mind product called wind element is the effect, cause and effect. And then wind element manifests bodily intimation called stepping or walking. That wind element created, produced by the mind, pushes through so that the body moves this way, that way, up, down, all different manners. And we call that movement a stepping or walking. Wind element manifest into the manners of walking, manners of stepping. And that is explained in the scriptures. Okay? This is how it explained in the scripture. Intention is the mentality, nama. Intention is nama. Intention is mentality. Walking is rupa. walking is materiality. Intention is mentality, and walking is materiality, rupa. And these mentality and materiality are not self, are not individual, are not a person. These mentality and physicality are simply operating system, or you can call it process or phenomena, whichever word you like. These mentality and materiality are operating system, or they are a process, or they are phenomena. That's how it is written in the scripture. Some of the English words I put it more appropriately for the listener to understand. It's not a precise, direct translation. However, in practice, you don't say, this is not me, this is not I, this is not a person, and so on and so on. This is this or that. In practice, simply observe, just observe while walking with urgent effort. You have to put great effort to see every little aspects of walking movements. That's why ardent effort is needed. If you don't have an ardent effort, you will simply see a whoops, one movement. But if you put ardent effort, you will see every little aspects associated with the walking process without missing them. You will see them, you will feel them, you will know them, you will understand them. And you will be experiencing them. All that you do was ardent effort and observe the walking movement. And the full understanding, full comprehension, knowing as it is, it will unfold by itself under the headlights of concentration. Because if you're putting ardent effort, concentration is there, very powerful as your effort. That's like a searchlight, spotlight, and you will see every characteristics with full understanding as they really are. Samadhi. It's not I. It will unfold by itself. You don't have to think that way. You simply observe. That's how the progress works in your practice. And what the teachers do is just giving you the bridging between theory and the practice. What to and how to. Dhamma, Buddha Dhamma, is pragmatic. There's a precise correlation between theory and practice. Precise correlation, no arm waving. And it can be verified if you execute it exactly as instructed. The key thing is correct method and ardent effort. You can verify yourself, not a book knowledge, not a theoretical knowledge. That book theoretical knowledge can be verify by yourself through your direct experience by using correct, precise method and great effort. Sitting, standing, walking postures. All these postures are maintained by wind element. If one can build a continuous correct mindfulness with a certain degree of concentration, one will come to know in every posture there are only two things: physical and mental phenomena, nama and rupa. Nothing more, nothing less. There's no individuality, no self, no being. There's no individuality, individual, no self, no being. In Pali, that is called Sakkaya Ditthi, the wrong view of self. Okay. And if you have that precision and the full comprehension and understanding as it is, that is the momentary abandonment of the wrong view of self. At that precise moment, okay, we say, there's no self, I understand. There's no individual, I understand. No. At that moment, you must be experiencing it, experiencing exactly all the characteristics, feelings, sensations. And if you are understanding that way to this mind and matter, at that precise moment, you are said to be in a state of non-self. It is not that thinking this is non-self. That moment is a state of non-self. You exist in the moment of non-self. You don't have to think, you don't have to believe, you don't have to intellectually understand. You are in the state of non-self. Momentary abandonment of wrong view of self. That is the momentary abandonment of wrong view of self. Only at that precise moment, that's it. But on farther striving, you work hard and you work hard day in, day out, minute in, minute out, second in, second out, without break, without gap. You work harder, you strive more. And if you do that, you will gain. The next level is called partial abandonment of wrong view. Just like mental defilements, momentary abandonment of mental defilements, partial abandonments of mental defilements. Here too, momentary abandonment of wrong view at that precise moment. And when you can keep your kilesa, mental defilements, away for some time, at that time too, you see things as they really are. So it can be said you have the partial abandonment of the wrong view. And of course, with unyielding, unsurrendering effort, one will realize complete, thorough, unchangeable, right view of self, of path. That is the total abandonment of the wrong view of self. At that moment, one's become the the first stream winner, a noble person, Satipatthana. May all of you be able to practice mindfulness and sight meditation, and may you be able to experience all these progresses and at least attain the first stream winner, the first noble person, Satipatthana, in this very life as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.